Indeed, and we are off on the race here, starting at Link's house. We've got bombs in the first chest there. Liam is using the Link sprite there, whereas One Up is adventuring with the old man.
And of course, I just love the fact that we get to immediately go see Hype Cave, which actually usually has a ton of stuff here because there's not that many other places to go right now.
Have more chests in general than the Dark World outside of the dungeons themselves. But yeah, Hype Cave, you can get some bombs early on, which Link's house was quite generous enough to provide. Doesn't give us any progression right off there, but it does give us a bottle full of magic potion.
Yep. It's in hindsight, it's really lucky to just start out with those bombs because it's been interesting to see how different runners find different strategies to get some bombs early on because they're so useful and so integral to opening up some item locations. But there's like not as many places to get them as there normally would be in an open seed.
That is correct there. It looks like we've got One Up making a clear up the stump. He gets even more bombs if he didn't have enough before. Alright, so we've got a few sort of quote-unquote standard checks to do in the overworld before we can get to anywhere interesting there. But the first thing that could be of note is that Thieves Town is pretty much almost open from the start, but this being Dark World, you have to do it on 3 hearts.
That's the thing that catches you off guard when you're like, oh, I'll just go here, I can dip 2,000. Oh, right, 3 hearts. That's a thing.
And speaking of there, we've got Swamp as a pendant, we've got Turtle Rock as a pendant, and we have Thieves Town as a pendant. I believe we saw one red crystal on Misery Mire, but the other one is in the Light World somewhere.
A little bit disappointed to see Swamp Palace with a pendant because I love Swamp Palace so much, but it does mean that there might be some hesitant to go check out what's in there. So maybe we'll see some torn runners wondering if it's worth it to go check out if what they're missing is in here.
Indeed. An interesting thing enough is that the Thieves Town is a pendant there. Now you can get those 4 chests easily enough, and you can get a couple chests in Skull Woods, where One Up it seems to be heading right now. But with Thieves Town being a pendant there, it might end up being a waste of time, quote unquote.
It's always it's usually something you have to expect later on in the race, but it's kind of mean right now to start with, okay, we'll just start with the hard choices. Here's a bunch of dungeons you can get to, and there might not be anything worth it in there.
It might not even be progression there, and we don't even have a sword yet.
Yes, because I do love the little icons we have up top indicating that this is randomized swords. There will be swords at some point, somewhere.
We're definitely not doing Uncle Assured, that's for sure. Alright, so we've got both runners inside of Skull Woods in various points of it. Haven't found anything of note just yet. But after Skull Woods, normally the thing is that you would go to the Dark Village of Outcasts and go straight in from there. And possibly into the 4 things in Thieves Town.
Absolutely. It was a really lucky break to get so many rupees off the start, because in the Dark World, there's a lot of the item locations just end up having a price tag attached to them. So now they don't really have to worry about that. And Zora is so far away anyway that you get some spending money by then.
Yeah, the chess game costs money. The digging game costs money. Everything requires a little bit.
Oh, did Liam already get the big key? Must have missed that.
I believe that was from the chest, the U-shaped chest with all the stuff running around it there. Find a compass inside the big chest, but nothing else to find right now, so onward we go. Oh no, the big key was in the pit room.
Oh no! Grandpa, no!
The Skull Woods is dangerous at 3 hearts, but I believe he's pretty much cleared it out for the most part, except for a couple places here and there. But Liam appears to be heading back in as well. Going to be checking out the areas that oneup has already has done.
Mm-hmm. Like oneup, like making sure to grab all of the bombs, because I've seen a lot of folks use this specific room as a great way to gather bombs early on in Inverted.
Yes, a lot of bombs spawn in it, and you can always death warp back to the fall down point and just get even more bombs.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Liam seems to have finished the first check of Skull Woods and mostly getting out intact. Going to be heading back out and down to the dark village of outcasts.
Still only has a single bottle on hand.
Still no weapons found yet either, aside from bombs, which can be a bit finicky. You have to know what you're doing to be able to bomb those wandering enemies.
Mm,
And inside the T-shaped house, we find just more money.
yeah, it's capitalism rules the dark world as always.
They've pretty much checked the same thing so far. Liam is about 10 seconds, 15 seconds behind, but this is really early in the seed. Anything can still happen.
What's in the underground kitchen? Just more money. Yeah, okay. Just welcome to the world of money.
As it is. We have the Scrooge McDuck seed.
The dark world, like a loving grandparent, like, hey honey, you're gonna like go to a lot of places that mean here you go, just in case you need it, in case a giant fish asks you for money. And awesome, we have the lamp, which means if anyone was stressed about potentially running some dark rooms, hey, don't have to worry about that anymore.
And it puts us in logic to be able to go up to Death Mountain there.
Mm-hmm.
But we are now entering in Thieves Town. I have to play dodge them with all the enemies crawling around in here.
The thing, I've always been fascinating with a lot of the Thieves Town enemies specifically because there's a lot of them that I feel I don't see a lot of in other Zelda games.
Big key and a small key right out, but no items just yet.
Small key means at some point, if we don't find the hammer here, folks might want to come back, unless it's like the map or compass in the big chest.
Oh, mirror. Now that's an integral piece right there.
Maybe we're going to get some very, very interesting routing opportunities with an early mirror, and maybe if it ends up being a late moon pearl, then there can be a lot of like interesting bunny tactics to get around in the light world and then come back in the dark world to do some shenanigans.
The light world is very open and compared to the dark world, so there's a lot of places you can bunny to in the light world, as opposed to the limited options in the dark world.
And it's always like, I really appreciate how inverted mode kind of like, puts forward the interesting things you can do as a bunny, such as talking to people. That's still a thing, and sometimes that leads to items.
Yeah, there are people who will give you money there, and looks like Liam is going to navigate the conveyor hallway of doom. Is managing to dash things admirably so far. It gets out intact.
Yeah, gosh. With nothing but the shirt on his back. And thanks to V30. Oh, sorry. Yep. Oh, interesting.
A unique item is in Eastern Palace. So we don't know if Eastern Palace is a crystal or a pendant yet, but we know that something is in there.
And I do love the fact that a lot of the hint tiles have to be taken with a grain of salt, such as unique items, sometimes meaning that one arrow that's in the prize pool. So that's something to just keep an eye out eye for it, just in case they happen to find it somewhere else, and they can rest assured, okay, I probably want to go to Eastern in that case.
It can even be something like the bug net or something that's definitely unique, but not very helpful. That ended up taunting a few players in a few runs back that I was saw, but that's that run, and this is this run.
I'm just so excited at the possibility of a, since we got the bottle early, of a Moon Pearl on Sick Kid, which means a very, very long trek in the light world as a bunny.
Indeed. That would be interesting. But we've got the mirror, but we don't have any dark world access there. The portals that are now in the dark world instead of the light world, as you would expect, to be able to traverse from one to the other. And the requirements still stay the same, so we still need that hammer and gloves or Titan's mitts and the Moon Pearl.
Yep, and Liam, like, just expertly using every single item at his disposal to open up the side path there, since there's just no way to lift that giant block yet.
Speaking of dark world
Yeah.
or light world access, and we've got a gloves. So now we can lift things. Not the Titan's mitts that get introduced in the dungeon in vanilla, but that does give us access to some places we have not been to yet.
Yeah. What's it called when it's like French vanilla, except it's not quite even that? Because it's a glove, not in the same place, but it's not the glove you want.
I can't believe it's not rando.
I like that. Okay, what's the pun? What's the pun today?
Oh, you're leaving him there. Well, no, we get to see the pun later. That's the question.
Yep, because, I mean, that is very fair because, well, I don't know, blind with just 6 bombs, maybe a little rough, but at least this way the boss fight is primed for later, and there is that potential for an item in the chest downstairs once you get the hammer.
Yeah, you do need the hammer to access that, and now we don't have to go back all the way and drag the maiden up to where the boss room is anymore. You can just go there straight. And on Bumper Cave, we just have 10 arrows.
Since the caves have been rewired, and this opening now leads to Death Mountain, how do people go up to the exit of Bumper Cave now?
I'm less familiar with that, but I believe it's the same way that you would access it as just pretending that the light world is the dark world. Essentially, the entrances have been flipped.
Aha. That makes things sensible. Oh no! The murder-dactyl has prevented Grandpa from going home.
It's buzzards, they smell blood. One thing interesting is that the old man does have to be returned to his location in the light world. So, take him to where he would normally go in the dark world, or the mirrored location of it.
Yep, we're probably going to get to see some bungee jumping Bunny and Grandpa. Because there's some nice little shortcuts you can take on the way down.
Indeed. All right, so we get
also, yeah, and chat has just let me know, blind does not take damage from bombs, so I stand corrected. Even that is not possible. Oh, there we go. I believe that was the single lone arrow. So hey, Eastern Palace now might have something useful, or at least some sort of usable item.
You would need to get there first, but yes.
That's details. That's details. We can worry about that later. And meanwhile, one up, having one Grandpa lead the other, all the long way home.
All right, so we got our first sword inside of Spectacle Rock, and a hit tile as well. Let's see here. Unique item requires the hammer.
Nice. I was always wondering how the bunny would look when falling down a hole, and the answer is just hangs there in the air for a moment and then immediately teleports to the ground.
The old man's bunny sprite is a skeleton. That's hilarious. I love it.
I mean, yeah, okay, that's.
Okay, that is gold. All right. Anyhow,
I'd never seen that before. This is great. Much love to the sprite designers out there. All right, and Liam's off showing some of the really interesting new routing opportunities thanks to the simple ladder installed in the Dark World now.
yes, the castle tower. Run smack into some Lionels there. But yes, Aga 1 is no longer at the top of Castle Tower now. He's at the top of Castle Tower is now where Ganon's Tower is located, and vice versa.
You have to figure at some point Aghanim and Aghanim 2 decide, you know what, maybe the grass is greener on the other side. Let's just swap for a moment.
Well, yeah, but then they would be, aren't they the same guy? Well, who knows? We'll have to find out.
Maybe. Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, so it's just like, I'm just gonna switch my main manor and my summer home. I'm just gonna swap them for a while.
I was like, you know what? I'm in the harder to get at there. I'm gonna throw less bombs now, or clones.
Now Liam finally getting the very, very clever little bomb boost to also get some invincibility frames to get past through those Lionels. Let's see what Super Bunny has for us. Ooh.
All right, not much there, but it's a good place to get checked out as well. Oh no, he does find the Quake Medallion. I missed that one.
Yep, and then
All right, so that Quake Medallion could be a key to either Turtle Rock or Misery Mire, but we have not checked out those locations as of yet.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Because I know he saved and quit, but I'm wondering if was it just not a good idea to check Turtle Rock right now, or is that exactly what he's doing right now?
It could be there. I don't know if it's trying to remember if it's the Light World or the Dark World that's hammerlocked on that side.
We do have the lamp. We do have a sword. Liam's
for the Aga 1 Dark World access play. We don't have the Moon Pearl, but we can get to it and activate that one, or I guess Light World town in this case, from near Link's house.
Yep. Yeah, both.
Good call on one up there to use the Pick Medallion to turn those guys into buzz blobs.
I always forget just the weird thing that Quake can do.
That will allow one up to take a small lead here. The routing options have been limited and few and far between, but we are pretty close to each other right now.
Yeah. 20 minutes in and they're in the same room. Well, 19 minutes, I kind of rounded.
Well, close enough. But once we get into the Light World, we'll have a lot of different options open to us. I would imagine that they are going to take that hint that something's in Eastern Palace and run with it, as we know that there's very few requirements to get through Eastern Palace. We have the lamp, but we don't have the bow to finish off the Armos Knights, although we could sword them to death if we really wanted to.
Yeah, I wonder, can you actually collect anything in Eastern if you don't have the Moon Pearl yet? Because I know Kakariko has a couple of places where you can just go get stuff as a bunny.
Yeah, that is true. You can open You can talk to people and pick up things on the ground, but I don't believe you can
Hmm.
open up chests unless you do some shenanigans.
That's true, which often means that like you can't even get the mushroom, I believe, in the woods because that requires lifting a bush, and bunnies are incapable of affecting foliage.
I get a lot of people's gardens would say that is untrue, but in this game, that's what we are going with.
Yeah, we have to suspend our disbelief in this game. Like sometimes you have to accept that bunnies just can't do anything to bushes.
Yes, and we can't even get to the Armos Knights in Eastern Palace without the boas because there are some Igors in the way. I have to remember that.
That's true. I'm wondering if Aga is the only play, or if it would have been possible to make the trek down Death Mountain as a bunny to try to move around some, or if that's just like not possible.
Well, the way down the mountain is now through Bumper Cave, and we don't have the cape to get through it. Nor the
That's
hookshot.
true. That's true.
All right, so we've got oneup40 heading into the Aga 1 fight. How many blue balls do you think he's gonna throw at us this time?
You know what? I'm going for none. Like, let's go
Ooh.
positive. Like, you know what? Let's be nice to each other. Yep. See, Aghanim's with me right now. Like, nope, all good. Ah, never mind. Well,
Decides to shoot off some fireworks.
hopes are dashed.
Liam is
Now,
starting
Liam's-
is starting the Aga fight now as well. Haven't watched Aga do a little bit of a magic trick.
And Liam reenacting Hamlet and tearing open those curtains. Or instead of Polonius, it is just it's a strangely hidden passageway to probably the sweetest view in the entire tower.
It's a really sweet view if you like looking at below things.
I mean, it is my favorite color, but yeah, that might not be the case for everyone here. All right. Oh, there we go. Now, OneUp's gonna show us what's available back in the light world. And it's going to scare all of the villagers in the process.
Hello, I'm a Skelly Man.
Oh! A little bit of a mirror bonk there. Almost had it.
Trying to at least get a glimpse of what that pyramid item was, but I'm not sure if it was on screen.
Oh. Oh, that's so clever. Oh, it's a $1. Well,
That's one trek out of the way for later, so that's good to know.
yep. That's such a good little thing to remember, that little nook there.
Alright, Liam is deciding not to go into the escape sequence right at the present moment, is instead going the long way around towards Kakariko, where he gotta knows the thieves, or sorry, it's the Dark Kakariko that we know had a unique item, which we already found.
But that bunny's got a bottle, and I hear there's a sick kid who will give something to anyone who dares show one to him.
Yep, we are still in a bunny. I have to get my mind in the fact that we are very limited in what we can do.
I'm really fingers crossed that we are going to end up with a Moon Pearl on sick kid situation.
I've got my fingers crossed for that as well. The bottle vendor doesn't really have anything at the moment there. He only gave you a half price special in that he sold you half his price for double price.
Ah. Sick kid just gave us his toy, but it's a really good toy, though.
It is a really good toy. Sadly, bunnies do not have opposable thumbs and cannot use it.
And since Aghanim is dead, there's a bunch more guards now around the village.
That is correct. Looks like we're going to check out the Oh, that's an
Yeah.
interesting way to get at the Smith. If he will stop blocking the portal back to the Dark World.
That is absolutely something you can do while you are a bunny. Again, demonstrating like just the cleverness that's possible using the mirror in inverted mode.
Tries to sneak by that guard, bumps into his back, says, "Excuse me," and then runs off the screen before he has any idea what's going on.
Guard going like, was that a rabbit?
But he does manage to shenanigans his way into rescuing the Smiths. I'm not sure if that's technically considered in logic or not, but gets paid a hefty $100 for it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Here you go. And meanwhile, we have One Up who's getting some much needed items over in Palace of Darkness, hoping to get something to open up this entire situation. Oh my gosh, could we really have Moon Pearl in the purple chest?
It is very shiny and purple, and the Moon Pearl is not purple, but it could be very complementary to each other.
Absolutely. It's just, oh my gosh, I just love the idea of going to such lengths just to be able to no longer be a bunny.
And Liam shows off that the cave south of Grove there has now been recessed and now it's nice and grassy like everything else. Don't have to mirror there anymore.
Yep.
And continues on with his purple chest adventures.
Just, yep. Carrying that thing like a friend and hoping to find someone who will just open it in exchange for... I have to assume the unlocking specialist just keeps the chest as payment, because, like, maybe he collects them.
It'd be a silent... I was like, I will open this chest if you don't tell me who I used to be, or tell anyone who I used to be.
You keep my little secret.
Now, oneup40 found a hint tile in the Palace of Darkness saying that there's a unique item in Paradox Cave. So
there's a lot of unique items.
So, Liam takes a death, but thankfully after getting over to the specialist, so he can just continue on to wherever he's going next at the present moment. So, OneUp has found a lot of interesting hints inside of Palace of Darkness, but no unique items and plenty of keys.
And as chat points out, they have a sort. Blindness now and logic. Missed out on the pun, but maybe there'll be something else of value back in Thieves Town.
Yeah, outside of the new only unlocked Light World tile outside of Link's house. I keep wanting to call them Dark World tiles, but they're not Dark World tiles anymore. We don't have any real access to the Light World and all the stuff that's in there.
I've always just called them portals.
Close enough.
Then again, I'm the type of person who will just like, so long as it gets the message across. Language is evolving.
Yes, I do agree with you. And it looks like Liam is heading into Palace of Darkness as well. Going to be finding out that interesting hint too. But, I mean, we found a lot of keys and not much else inside of Palace of Darkness. So we will see if this dark room has anything else inside of it.
Again, just one up, such using like quick brilliantly.
Another 300 rupees. This we're almost up to 1,000 already and have nothing to spend it on at the moment.
Oh, well, it's just some shiny new set of clothes. That's always good. Without the Moon Pearl, it's not really possible to go visit Zora, I believe, or the Flippers. Wonder if bunnies can swim.
Apparently, chat tells me bunnies cannot swim. You would think so, be able to just walk on the bottom of the water, but no. Apparently that undoes their dark magic.
Those bones just float downstreams, dude. Unless bones don't float. I'm just not an expert on that matter.
Right, we we are having some people speculating that we have our progression possibly on Catfish. It could also be on
Hmm.
Blind. There's not
That's
many other
true.
places we can really go to without any major tools, aside from
Hmm.
some mirror locations that we can't really even access at the moment.
Yeah, and the hopes of like a moon pearl in the light world have pretty much been eliminated because I don't think there's anywhere else you could go as a bunny and still acquire something. I do appreciate how an inverted catfish has been like helping out a lot more lately.
He's a nice quakefish.
Mm.
So I mean, we were able to get to, I believe, Eastern Palace if we wanted, or is there something in the way? Inverted throws
Mm.
everyone's logic for a little bit of a topsy-turvy spin.
That's why I love it so much. It makes the entire game like like fresh and really really interesting again. And especially with the whole addition of hint tiles, it feels like it's there's never been a better time to play randomizer.
Indeed, and OneUp is going to be checking the catfish, bonks him on the head with the skull,
Mm.
and catfish comes up and says, "Here, have this moon
Oh,
pearl."
there it is. There it is. Now anything is possible. Well, now many things, more things are possible.
It does open up a lot. We now have official. Actually, we have official light world access, but only through the warp tile near castle.
Hmm. That's right. No mitts, no hammer, not many other possibilities. But still, that central location does open up a bunch of things.
It does. I'm expecting OneUp to go straight towards Eastern Palace because he knows that something is there, but not exactly what.
Mm. However, it has burned many runners before to just completely forget about escape, so why not just do that right now?
He's definitely going to see it. He's going to check out this chest here.
Mm.
Inside is going to find a piece of heart there. But
Aw.
we've been ignoring our poor dear uncle for so long. Why not let's go give him a visit? Hey,
The
uncle, how are
oldest
you
uncle in
doing?
the world.
And we steal his heart from him.
Oh no. Oh. He was going to recover too.
He's not going to need this pacemaker anymore. We'll just take that for ourselves.
And went up catching a guard off guard while it was just resting under a bush.
Oh, and Liam is using the bottle glitch to
Ooh.
despawn the mimics off the side of the screen to open up the door to progress further into Pawn. Now there's an interesting strat.
Yep, I absolutely love it. It's amazing to me that like decades after this game came out, that someone realized that you could like desync the camera slightly if you drink a bottle while going left in the previous passage, and the game doesn't want you to kill all the mimics in that room. It's just checked to see if there's any left on screen.
And he finds the Book of Medora as a reward.
Hmm.
That will open up Desert Palace because with Inverted, Desert Palace no longer has a back door.
Hmm.
He'll also be able to access or at least read what's on the pedestal if he chooses to do so. I believe he needs the Master Sword to access any of the tablets, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, that's correct, but it is on the way and very easy to reach, so Liam might decide to just check to see what's on Bombo's tablet for later. However, chat is pointing out the book was obtained through the potion glitch, which means in logic, the book was bow-locked.
That is correct. So we know that so we'll have to go to Desert Palace after we get the bow if we wanted to follow the game's logic. Of course, we can sneak in there early if we so desire.
Mm-hmm. Because they have a lamp, it is possible to, I believe, pretty much. Well, no, that's right. It is possible to not be able to go much further in Desert Palace if something important happens to be on the torch, because then it's going to be a boot situation.
Almost like a 50-50 split on whether you can continue in Desert Palace or not if something is on the torch, or the key to the right side is on the torch. Looks like OneUp's got a pretty decent lead on Liam at the moment in terms of just going through all the stuff that they've been going through. But Liam is going to be picking up his Moon Pearl momentarily.
Yep, and we're going to see
Catfish Spit.
We're going to see where Liam decides to go, because now there's like so many options available. It's going to be really interesting to see if Liam just plays catch up or goes into a wholly different direction.
All right, OneUp mirrors out of escape. There's probably going to be checking the graveyard entrance to get to those to those 3 chests, just to skip a few screens, so to speak.
And it looks like Liam's going to be doing escape. And catching up to OneUp in that area. And we have, OneUp going to check Graveyard Ledge, because hey, there has been some contractors came through, just add a ladder, simplifies this whole thing a lot more. Once again, just bombs.
Alright, sorry about that, I was just changing setting. Alright, so we are at the graveyard right now, going to be going into the back of escape through there, and Liam is starting the front of escape.
Yep, that is a much quicker way to check, and also just happen to route in the Graveyard Ledge. But again, just finding hearts and bombs.
Nothing there in the back of escape. So from here, I mean, I know that Eastern Palace is a big temptation there, but Liam may opt to go to Desert Palace on the off chance that is something a bit even more valuable. But it's risking of locking himself out of a half-finished dungeon.
It's true, and Chad pointed out that the key was in the back of his cape, meaning that it was it was still faster to go to the back of his cape via the hole in the graveyard, because like any time is faster than infinity, because that is the time would have taken to go there otherwise.
That is correct. Without that key, you can't get through that, well, the locked door.
Do you know if either player has checked the Lumberjack Cave? Or
they have not as of yet, but I would imagine after this Lost Woods check, excuse me, that we'll be going there shortly.
Oh, finding half magic in the Thieves' Hideout, that is pretty wonderful. So the runners still don't have boots, but since Aga 1 is down, whatever's in Lumberjack Cave could possibly just be gotten at any point from here on out, right?
That is correct, yeah. We would still need to get the boots to see what's in Lumberjack Cave. I'm sorry, to get what's in Lumberjack Cave, but yeah, we would need to see... We could see there what's on there if we wanted.
You know, one up finally getting to Kakariko at the 40-minute mark. And good gosh, there's just so many things here. You just have to imagine there's going to be some progression, because good gosh, there's so little in each player's inventory screen right now.
Well, the Blind's hideout doesn't seem to have much in it in the front, aside from some much-needed health. But this back section might hold something, or else we're just going straight to the well. We find the hook shot.
Hook shot. Well, you know, Thieves Town, completely worth it. has a hook shot and a lot of heart.
All right, so we will see what's in the well of Kakariko, though. But with that hookshot, we can get to East Death Mountain, and we know from one of the hint tiles that there is something in Paradox Cave.
Yep, all the ingredients are there.
We find the shovel.
I owe you one more item.
Great, I found the shovel. Now I can dig my own grave.
Oh no, Grandpa, no. Ooh, a bee. Some sort of bee.
All right.
Goodness knows OneUp has plenty of money to buy whatever to buy half of his money back from the potion vendor.
It's the bottle vendor, the lesser-known cousin of King Zora. Not as big of a scam, but a scam nonetheless.
Discount scam. It's always interesting in Inverted to like it takes a little bit of time, but eventually runs start to look like the way you remember them. It just very, very much out of sequence.
Pretty much, yes. All right, so looks like Liam is checking the back of Escape. He's not going to find all that much there. OneUp is continuing his clear of Kakariko, finding more hearts, but not the progression that we want. Well, we've got the hookshot already, but not further progression other than that. Right now, we're mainly looking for the hammer, as that unlocks a lot of the dungeons.
Unlocks more mobility back in the Dark World, unlocks some dungeons, unlocks that one chest back in Thieves Town, which I haven't forgotten about. You know, it might end up just being all for nothing, but you never know. And OneUp doing the neat little trick to get a little frog home. One weird trick to get a smith back to work.
Other blacksmiths hate this trick. Click here to find out how. All right, so we are looking for that hammer at the present moment. We know that something unique is at Paradox Cave, so if I were one out there, I would either want to head to there or to Eastern Palace right next, but I would tend more towards Paradox Cave because that is 7 chests, and we know that something interesting is there.
And it's always better. Like, you always feel better going to in the eastern and pod direction with the bow, especially since they're both crystals, and you can just get them both done in one fell swoop.
Exactamundo.
Oh my gosh, do you think Liam's going to check pedestal? Got the book. It's right there.
He could, and if that is something important on there, that would give him some valuable knowledge, but no, does not attempt to do so.
And one of the interesting new developments with V30 being that all of the capacity upgrades for bombs and arrows have been moved to the ferry in the Light World cave in the place of Ice Palace, means that there's a lot of bombs and arrows now in the item pool. So I guess I shouldn't be so surprised to see so many of them now.
Yeah, I haven't seen many people opt to go buy them yet, but most of the runners don't really need them so much per se.
Well, Shovel has a very nice little protective item. Defensive item, protective item, it protects you.
That is not particularly required there, but the logic does account for the Cane and Burna when you are going to Spike Cave, so that's something that you might want to consider.
Spike Cave, one of the most out of reach, out of the way areas, which is always tricky to route, but you never know. Might be something good in there. And also, I'm very excited for either runner to finally make their way to desert to see my favorite desert buddy, Agana, often overlooked, sometimes has something very, very important while in his closet.
We are to another major chest location. We have one up taking out the mini Moldorm cave and to achieve the goodies in here. We've got 5 items in here. We've got the red
Oh,
mail already. We've got a red rupee. We've got
Master
the
Sword.
Master Sword.
Oh, that was pretty. That was pretty good. Like hype cave classic over here. And it's gosh, the hook shot just makes such quick work of everything in here.
Did I only got a glimpse of it there. Did we see that Liam get another sword? No, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong. I was looking at the wrong screen. I was checking out Chicken Hut, but there wasn't anything interesting in there.
Just chickens, which can be pretty interesting.
I'm trying to remember which house it is has a glitch if you powder one of the chickens, the cuckoos.
Oh, yes. I think it's one of the houses you just never have a reason to go into. Unless you're in retro mode and you might just find an item in there. And Chad is pointing out we seem to have all of the ingredients for a trip to Laser Bridge should we be going back to Death Mountain. Which might happen because, again, that's Bite Cave. Looking mighty tempting. Maybe.
Pretty much. Whereas Desert has lost its backdoor access, and Turtle Rock has gained 3 back doors.
And everyone's out to kill Grandpa in 1UP's screen right now, but the old man's going places.
Buzzards, the natural enemies of old men.
Oh no. Careful, Grandpa. Ah, there we go.
Hello, old man. I am a fellow old man. How do you do? Went to the convention this year?
Yes. Please look away from your back wall. Okay. Nice little hole blasted. Okay, I'll just... Oh, more bombs. Well, never mind.
I replaced your bombs with some of my own. They're quite nice. They exploded a bit early, but I doubt you'll mind.
Though this was like one of the rare transactions that like goes your way. Spend 1 bomb, get 3 bombs.
Ooh, we've got the silver arrows inside of the checkerboard cave.
Nice.
Doesn't require the mirror anymore to get to, but we don't have any bows to shoot them with unless we go around stabbing people in the eye with them.
And Liam just passing up a heart container.
Well, he doesn't have the Master Sword just yet, whereas 1UP does. So all I can do is read it and nothing else.
Yes, the goddesses of Hylia are very generous, but will just not give you the time of day unless you have a very shiny sword in hand. And 1UP just happens to have 2 now.
He has the Tempered Sword, the Bacon Sword, the Orange Sword of stabbing people.
I'll call it the Fire Sword, just because, you know. I like the sound it makes, like...
Yeah, you're right. It is good there. Ooh, we have 1UP opening up Misery Mire. It does require Quake, but he has the hookshot to go over into Mire, but not the Canis Samaria to complete it. We'll see if he decides to go and loot the place while he's in there.
Because this is not Key Sanity, so a lot of the item locations will be taken up by keys, but you never know. Could be something interesting in here. And Mire is a red crystal, so figure you're gonna have to go in here at some point, and it is fairly quick to dive back once you have everything you need.
Liam is opting to go into the Desert Palace, which he managed to secret break his book into.
Ooh. Liam, you're not. This is the Forbidden Temple. You're not supposed to be here. Going to go for that item available right off the bat, possibly right before checking the torch, which is pretty smart because, yeah, depending on what happens there, get a key. You can immediately check the right side, get the boots. Well, then you don't have to worry about the torch anymore. You can just go right for it.
Exactly. Alright, I don't think 1UP has found anything interesting inside of Mire just yet. Oh, get a single rupee out of that chest in for Liam.
You have to figure at some point the dungeon designer was going like, I have an empty chest here. It feels weird to leave it empty. I should put something in there. I'll just put a single groupie in there. It feels a little bit more complete now.
Reminds me of that one joke where someone puts like a single dollar inside of a very elaborate safe. And, oh?
Oh my goodness.
So we know that the flute is now boots locked, which is in turn bow locked because we know that this book is sequence broken to. This is an interesting chain of events indeed.
That is a lot of logic to keep track of.
Now we do also know that there. All right. OneUps doesn't find anything interesting there. That hint tile is also useful, telling us that we don't need to worry about the green pendant. It only has a heart container.
Which is real good. However, it is kind of sad for me, the Swamp Palace liker, because it means there's one less reason to go to Swamp Palace. But you never know. It might just become a... Oh, I was about to say it might just become another case where you're looking for the ice rod, but you might not even need that because Turtle Rock is a pendant.
Now, one interesting thing is that the flute is not really required because we can get the Misery Mire just by mirroring back over from Desert Palace. But it does make things a whole lot quicker, so if we can get our hands on that, so much the better.
That's true, and then it becomes a very interesting routing situation where at some point, when Liam finds the boots, there's that little question in the back of his mind going, okay, is it worth it to go back to Desert Palace and get the flute? Will that save me more time than it costs me?
Pretty much. I mean, like, everyone likes the flute, so I can't imagine them not going for it. Mimic Cave, that hint tells us, is completely bust. Nothing in there. So that'll be something that we'll end up not having to check.
Which is good news. I feel like Mimic Cave is, unless I'm mistaken, I believe in Inverted, it can be accessed way quicker thanks to the mirror.
Yes, you can there's actually a way to drop down to it from a ledge above, because it's normally in Light World that you mirror to from Dark World. But we can't really get there this way.
And we have Liam going back to Mini Moldrum Cave, the previous Hype Cave.
The cave formerly known as Hype.
Yep. Once was popular. Now, people could, take it or leave it.
Well, I mean, I guess the Hype Cave is in the Dark World. So if this is inverted, this is the inverted Hype Cave, I guess.
Yep. I do like the idea of having the take it or leave it cave, because there's like the take one room and the take it or leave it room.
Alright, OneUp has decided to go back up to Death Mountain.
Well, Liam...
probably is going towards Paradox Cave, now that he has that hook shot.
Liam's going to check that very out-of-the-way place. Again, I do appreciate it whenever a runner takes a chance to go to an out-of-the-way place, because that is something that a lot of people seem to just try to route around nowadays, because it's just so time-consuming, but you never know. If that Ice Rod Cave has something important, it might just make a huge difference in the race.
And inside we find even more cash.
Yeah. Again, the seed just wants the runners to have everything they need in case they need to buy something. All right.
So we know that something is in here in Paradox Cave. So what is it?
OneUp doing the very clever pathing decision to just use the mirror to just escape. Oh, well, there it is.
Got the fire rod.
That's pretty good.
That will open up the Skull Woods is fully completable now, and it will also make parts of you can get through Turtle Rock now too.
It's true. Oh, and there we go. All right, now One-Up found the bow in Paradox Cave. The fire rod was maybe not the. I mean, you got 2 unique items of it. That's pretty good. Now One-Up
That's
has.
very good. So now with the bow, we can complete both Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness. With the fire rod, we can get into we can finish now Skull Woods and be in now Ice Palace is now in logic once we get to the flippers. So we still need those flippers to get to it, but we would now have our fire source to deal with those ice critters.
It's like the entire world has opened up, and we're almost an hour in, and no dungeons have been completed yet.
I was just thinking about that. Yeah, 50 minutes, no bosses completed except for Aga 1. We still... Oh, thank you, chat. I had forgotten. We are still looking for that hammer because that locks so many of the dungeons as well.
That's fair.
Palace of Darkness requires the hammer. Swamp Palace requires the hammer. Thieves Town, the big chest requires the hammer. Ice Palace requires the hammer. I don't remember if Misery Mire or Turtle Rock does, but you'll probably want the hammer anyway.
But at least no one's hurting for swords.
Now we're a tempered sword across the board already.
And One-Up just found in Hookshot Cave the golden sword. So, well,
Ooh, shiny.
Yep. Not that huge of a difference for experienced runners, but it's always good. It speeds up a little bit, especially this early in the game. And we have Quake for Turtle Rocks. Really, no other medallions needed right now.
That is correct. I mean, I believe that you can get your way over to the front of Turtle Rock through the back door if you wanted to there, but you still would need the Cane of Samaria to get in there in the first place.
That's true. And since we're inverted, might as well just skip right on over to Laser Bridge. See what's up there.
We have the Cane of Burna, so it is in logic that we can just magic shield our way up there.
Yep,
2 chests.
damage boost our way.
We get a useless ether medallion. Nice to have, nice to do things with, but not what we want.
Not really. I mean, if at any point One-Up wants to just check what some invisible paths look like in Ganon's Tower, well, the ethers are there.
Liam decides to take the long walk through Spiral Cave.
That's right, still no boots. So, we might not, boots might not be required to beat this game, but you never know. There's still that off chance.
Boots do lock the flute, so if we if we have a bootsless seed, we also have a fluteless seed there, and that will make everyone cry.
Yeah. But I mean, since Mire is accessible, it would just make everything longer, not necessarily impossible, right?
Yeah, you can get to Mire. That's no problem. This can be a fluteless seed, but we've got One-Up heading over towards Eastern Palace. We did get a hint that there is a unique item in here, but let's talk to Sasha while we're at it, and raid his closet.
Yep. Sasha keeps the good stuff back there. Oh,
stop!
There it is.
Hammer time.
All right. Now, truly, there is nothing stopping Grandpa in the hands of One-Up40 from just conquering everything.
I've got a hammer. Everything's starting to look like a nail.
Yep. And that was a really, really well-timed hammer finding.
Yeah, because now he could just mirror over to Palace of Darkness as soon as he finishes Eastern.
Yeah, it's so great when it just works out this way. When a little bit of faith that maybe you'll just get what you need on the way there just turns out to be warranted.
I'm trying to think of a pun to combine MC Hammer and Sasha Rala, but I can't come up with anything right now.
Yeah, that's tricky. Oh, it's something to put in the back burner and to blurt out maybe in half an hour.
Pretty much, yes. The best I can come up right now is that Sasha's blocked up that closet of his, so you can't touch this.
You know what? That's pretty good. Let's go with that.
Uh,
Alright, one up. Just making short work of everything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Liam is going towards Skull Woods, gonna go set a certain moth on fire.
It always boggles me, the fact that Mothula is like, there was so much like custom code required to make Mothula impervious to spikes, whereas it seems that no other enemy really is hurt by spikes anyway. But it just causes so much like grief.
Indeed, there. Those spikes just, and they also do true damage. They ignore all mail armor.
Hmm.
All right, Liam actually going for the chest in Skull Woods before going to Mothula. Interesting choice.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there is something there. It's bombs, but it's something.
We've got a lot of money and we got a lot of explosions.
Yeah, like this, like pretty much everyone right now is, you know, would be pretty good when it comes to starting a construction business, because you have a lot of money to build stuff with and a lot of bombs to unbuild things, so you can like build better things instead.
As a certain comic wizard has said, the amount of social problems that you encounter diminish greatly when you increase the size of an explosion.
I'm not familiar with that saying.
I also misquoted it horribly, but oh well.
Well, I've never heard of it, so I can't tell. It's good enough for me. And now Liam trying to find the ways in which to damage the moth without the moth becoming impervious to spike damage, and well, we're done, and here's some more money. Have some more money, honey, you're gonna need it to buy everything that you need. But Liam we're pretty much okay for the rest of the game, I think.
Liam gets the first crystal on the board, but more importantly, OneUp has found the boots inside the big chest in the Eastern Palace.
Oh my gosh, I completely missed it. Okay, that is big. And OneUp might just happen to chance upon the flute first, just by virtue of getting the book, just by going through his normal routing and ending up in Desert Palace and just having the boots there, instead of having to make the choice of whether or not to go back there.
Yeah, he's going to be going straight over to Palace of Darkness directly after he finishes Eastern Palace. He's going to be go through that room with the mimics normally, and is going to pick up that book. And when he goes to Desert Palace, and it is a crystal, I would imagine that he would be able to follow the breadcrumbs that way, and will be getting his boots.
Yep, and just gosh, the silver arrows just make such quick work of Armos. We didn't even have time to announce the fact that the fight was beginning. It's already over. Yeah, chat pointing out, like the sequence break to get the book did give Liam a ton of knowledge, but may not have actually resulted in a lot of like actual gains when it comes to getting ahead of this match.
Yeah, I would agree with you there. Liam has gotten his hammer now as well, and is a bit trailing a little bit behind oneup40 at the present moment. But they are going on the same logic.
Gosh, that unstoppable old man just rushing through, breaking walls with his face. Cleaving through the air with a sword of gold. It's a thing of beauty.
I'm the Juggernaut! Have you seen my helmet? I seem to have misplaced it somewhere.
You know, I wonder if there is it would be a bit of a pull. I wonder if there is a Juggernaut sprite, just to make the whole running thing interesting.
I want to see that now. I really want to see that. I did not know I wanted to see it before now, but now I do.
All right. Now, One-Up's got the hammer, got the bow. We're gonna see what's in the back of Palace of Darkness. Did One-Up happen to do the Dark Maze, or did I miss that?
I did not see him do it, so I don't think he has. I think he's making a beeline directly for Helmasaur King.
Which is fair enough. Just making sure work of those. Are those moles? Are those like I keep forgetting what the actual name of these little enemies are.
I'd have to go on the wiki to find that there. I always call them whack-a-moles, personally.
Yep, and One-Up just like being very, very clever again and taking some damage from the first little shelled enemy there to make sure that in the following room when they flipped over, they would only take damage from the sword and not from the sword beams to make sure he could just finish them off very quickly.
All right, Liam reveals a hint that bombs are required to get the boots, but we have just found that out. Or not the boots, the hammer. But we already knew that to get here in the first place, so oh well.
And One-Up is just completely destroying Helmasaur King. King is dead, long live the old man next to the king. Now that hint, like bomb unlocks X. How useful does that end up being? How many? Because there seems to be a lot of places that are unlocked by bombs.
Let's see here. I'm pulling up a list here. Igina's Cave is one of those. The back of Blind's Hideout, the back of Kakariko Well, Randomizer Room in Ganon's Tower, Hype Cave, Ice Rod Cave, Mini Moldorm Cave, and Upper Paradox Cave, and the second chest in Swamp Palace.
That's a bunch.
So it's not the most specific hint in the world, but it helps.
Yep. And just like that, One-Up's got 2 crystals, done with the Eastern Palace and its Dark Side equivalent. And we're just waiting for that trip to Desert Palace to get the flute and suddenly make this whole trip way, 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 way faster.
Indeed. One-Up has the boots now, is dashing right over to Mothula, gonna go and burn that bug.
And just like waste absolutely no time, just making a beeline for the boss room, just getting that done. Grabbing that key because you never know. Does have a bee. I believe like the bee is actually useful against Mothula.
You are correct.
Like useful with air crows, but you never know. Sometimes
bug on bug combat.
And as opposed to Liam, One-Up just, wasting absolutely no time and going straight to the boss. So someone in chat going, "What is a king?" to an old man, and I just really, really like that. I really like the sound of that. Oh,
I'm having way too much fun with this old man sprite.
It's just, gosh, it's so darn charming.
I'm glad I found these boots. I used to be in track when I was a young'un.
Grandpa, you're the best. And Grandpa's just about to completely demolish that beautiful, marvelous flying insect that happens to shoot some circular beams for one reason.
You whippin' snappin' bug, did you put these spikes all over my living room?
And just like that, third crystal, but Liam is catching up real quick. And
that's the third crystal, and Liam is not far behind, re-entering the Bowlock section of the Bowlock section of Palace of Darkness. Should be heading to Helmasaur King very shortly.
Yep, and I'm just going to grab that chest knowing that there's something in there, not knowing that it's just some more bombs, but afterwards, we have to look at the possibilities here. Like Ice Palace, that's Flipperlock. You can flame flavor to it, but, either runner might decide to just hold off on that for now. Yep. Mire readily available. Except, of
Breadcrumbs
course, for the
are
King of
pointing to
Samaria.
Desert Palace, so hopefully he will find those that flute soon, even
Mm,
though it's not technically required per se.
mm. Might just be deciding to do Hera first, though.
It's starting to look that way. He has to take the long way around to be able to get to it, but yes. No one's really gone back to Thieves Town to check what is in that chest, but it's only one chest. It's pretty deep in there, and Thieves Town is a pendant anyway, so I don't blame them for not wanting to find out what's in that chest.
Oh no, absolutely. Like, to me, this feels like if either runner felt like very behind or just felt that they absolutely had to win on gambles, that might make it a possibility. Because you have to figure your opponent's going to do the exact same thing you did. But yeah, in this, there's still so many places to go right now.
I'm imagining one up is going Hera, then to Desert Palace, and hoping he finds Flipper somewhere in there, so he can go to Ice Palace and at some point find the King of Samaria to go to Misery Mire, or to finish Misery Mire, I should say.
Yep. One up asking for a gift from the gods, and getting some arrows. I mean, they're useful.
Here, have some sharp sticks.
And Liam opting not to go for the flute, but instead making that Tower of Hera play.
That'll pretty much finish off the things you can do on Death Mountain at the present moment until we find that King of Samaria.
Mm. That's right. That's right. It does seem like that just making the safer play of going to Tower of Hera, because if you happen to find the King of Samaria somewhere on Death Mountain, then you can just clear Mire and Desert Palace in one go, minimizing the amount of backtracking you have to do.
Exactly. Thankfully,
Yes.
Tower of Hera is pretty short. It doesn't have that many items in it compared to some of the other dungeons, but you never know. There's the amount of dungeons we can really go to at the moment are getting limited. We can check out what's in the back in some places in Turtle Rock, but we have to use the back entrance to go in there, and it's pendant anyway. We've already pretty much examined what's in Mire for the most part. We can't get to Ice Palace outside of glitches. We've cleaned out all of Thieves Town that's interesting. Swamp Palace is a pendant, and you don't really want to go in there unless you have to. And we don't have the flippers either anyway to get inside.
Yes, it seems to me that, I mean, technically, it might just be that it's, I see some folks in chat pointing out we are looking at, I believe, King of Samaria and flippers for Go mode, but are flippers even necessary, given that fake flippers is just such a common minor glitch? Oh my goodness. Well, now we know where Moldorm found that strength to keep pushing everyone off of his platform.
Exactly there. In inverted, Titan's bits aren't really required for all that much, but it's still nice to have to be able to check things like King's Tomb.
That's true. I just really like having those big golden bits. It just feels like it's not complete without them.
We need more power, more power.
I do love the this myth of the Uber Grandpa who has been everything to everyone, has done all of the things, and has accomplished every single possible legendary feat you can think of.
Have you ever heard the story about Old Man Henderson in the Call of Cthulhu game?
I have not.
Go look it up when you finish it. This is a hilarious tale.
I'm looking forward to that. And I look away for a moment, and One Up is on top of Hyrule Castle.
I believe he just. I'm not entirely sure how he got there. I wasn't watching. I think he managed to. go there from somewhere else. I know that's very not
Ooh.
useful. Whatever.
Well, old man adding teleportation to his bag of tricks.
Oh wait, there. Since no, hold on. Never mind. I had an idea but it didn't work out.
Ah, okay.
Oh
I
right,
think chat says it was save and quit since Aga's dead.
that's correct. I can't believe I forgot about that.
Inverted still holds many mysteries. As Grandpa navigates the jazz hands golems of the desert, will be the first player to get the flute.
Liam is in Mimic Cave, which we know from a hint already has cash, and not even good cash at that. It's just $20.
Aww. And like, yeah, there was like that amount in the previous room, and just Liam decided not even to pick it up.
All right, old man is going around with his golden butter sword. He is opening up chests there, throwing pots at things. Didn't I tell you that pot is bad for you?
And Liam, I believe Liam seems to be looking for, I have to assume, King of Samara and Turtle Rock, because at this point,
We've pretty much checked out all of the chests in in Desert Palace at the moment that we can get to. It's pretty much, and it's either in Thieves Town Big Chest or it's in Turtle Rock, and we've already seen what's in the majority of Misery Mire that we can get to. So I mean, out of those two plays, there, Turtle Rock is the easier option to go to.
That's true. How much are you willing to bet that Flippers end up being in that mushroom?
Oh, which chest had the mushroom in it?
Oh, the center chest in the previous room that Liam was in. The one with all the angular pipes that make a really, really painful sound when Link goes through.
Ah, yes. All right. Well, Liam has saved and quit out of Turtle Rock, so we'll see if he decides to go turn it in. He's heading vaguely in that direction, but nope. He's going back to the light world, so he might be turning it in. Meanwhile, OneUp is heading through the back half of Desert Palace, going to be heading towards the Land Moli, whatever they're called.
Land Molasses.
Land Molasses. Gotta love putting them on your pancake.
I always figured Land Molas was the plural. It is one Land Mola, but you always fight three, so you fight the Land Molas.
Fair enough.
Oh, that's right. Have we checked Lumberjack? Or is this the first time?
Well, we're going to find out very soon.
Have they been here this whole time? They sure have!
Flippers are behind Aga 1.
Oh my gosh, they were boots locked this entire time.
That's a lot of things that has been boots locked there. So the play is to go get the Flippers after taking out all the dungeons that we can. Speaking of which, OneUp finishes the Land Molus.
Getting the very, very nice triple headshot with the bow. So now we have the Flippers that have been available since we got the boots, which means Ice Palace is now in Logic, which means it is possible that the cane would be in the earlier parts of Ice Palace, given that I think the bomb jumps are never in Logic. So
exactly,
it might be a place. But I mean, you have to assume Liam's figuring if the cane can be found elsewhere, then Ice Palace can just be go moded, and that is so much faster than not go moding Ice Palace.
Yeah, at this moment there, Liam is one item away from go mode, but got a couple needs to finish out Desert Palace, whereas OneUp has already done so. OneUp is heading towards. He's back in the Village of Outcast. Where is he going to? Oh, he's going to the Light World portal.
Mushroom. That's right. We still have that mushroom. What will the witch grow that mushroom into? and give to her assistant for resale. That restroom became $5. Well,
You just found that thing on the ground, Sonny. I'm not gonna pay you that much.
I mean, like, you have to figure which is nice, which, like, yep, thank you. That's great. That's really great. No, thank you. Okay, just get $5 and go away. Did either runner check waterfall? Because that's another thing the flippers open up. Anything at all to
No one's
avoid
fake
having
flippered
to.
yet.
Yeah, like no matter what, so long as we don't have to fully clear Ice Palace, then it's worth it.
We get a shiny coin. Yay!
So now, Grandpa has caught up and is now the fastest grandfather in the land with the flute. And you have to wonder if Liam's decision not to get that flute is going to pay off in the end. Or if it might have been the better move to go back
Speaking
and
of
get
paying off, he's paying off Zora and gets the bomb.
Still haven't found the powder, so that little bat still hasn't anything. Still no shields. Also interesting.
All right, OneUp is deciding to. Looks like he's going to be checking the lumberjack cave. Is going to be finding his flippers, and we will most likely see him make a beeline for that ice palace, or he may decide to check out some of those flipper locks locations that Liam is doing right now. Haven't seen the hobo just yet, so it's quite possible that that he will be going there as well.
Now Grandpa has mastery over the sea. Nothing can stop Grandpa now.
Did I once tell you the time I was in the Navy Marines?
Oh, Grandpa, you were in the Navy? No, Sonny, I was the Navy. And our friend Hobo has... the cape. Oh, well.
That will help with something.
I mean, technically that does... I believe that puts the... I was going to say, that puts the laser bridge in logic, but no, they've had the Cane and Burner for a while.
They can do bumper K, but it's just got 10 arrows, so who cares?
And Liam just end up being the first runner to finally go into Ice Palace and resign themselves to the fact that they might just have to full clear it. It's a sad day for all, but not for folks who like the winter, because hey, it's their time to shine.
Indeed. All right, so we'll see if OneUp decides to check more Flipper's Locks location or goes directly to Ice Palace. And Ice Palace it might indeed be, judging by what we're seeing here.
Oh, you can just walk straight in. Interesting.
Yep, it's another necessary terrain change made by the inverted mode. The moon pearls huddle with the fishes.
So if you do get some items early, you might just head straight to Ice Palace without even setting foot in the light world in inverted mode. Don't think I've seen a seed that does that yet.
Yeah, I mean, if you manage to get the fire rod you could go straight into Ice Palace from there. But yeah, that was more of a journal entry tile than anything else. But we've got both of our runners inside of Ice Palace right now. Liam is a little bit farther in, but OneUp has completed the Crystal Desert Palace.
And Liam demonstrating the very, very neat trick to defeat both style foes with one bomb. Hopefully he doesn't boast about his victory, get overheard, and then have to go off and defeat a giant.
Nice.
And demonstrating the very, very clever bomb jump of Ice Palace. This is a very fun one to learn. It's very simple and straightforward. And once you know it, gosh, it just lets you become so much faster in this specific dungeon.
it pretty much saves an entire lap around the bottom half of Ice Palace.
And even if you're not go moding it, it's still a good idea to do it.
So once we find that Cane of Samaria, we are pretty much in go mode. Other places it could be, it could be in Swamp House. We now have the flippers to access that. So there's a lot of goodies inside of there. So it could be inside there if it's not inside of Ice Palace here.
That's true. Thank you for reminding me that that's possible. Because now there's hope again in my heart. Because, gosh, I love Swamp Palace. It's just the best place. Maybe the runners will also get to experience. And Liam's gonna show us a very, very cool trick how to exit out of a door that's closed. It's magic.
He was a ghost the entire time.
The sprite was actually Ghost Link. And Grandpa also, like, just defying the physical properties of matter, but we've already seen it by now.
Weren't you watching when I turned into a skeleton already?
Oh, Grandpa, you and your skeleton stories.
There was that one time I had that little chat with the necromancer. He taught me a thing or two.
Grandpa, the self-made necromancer. Oh, that's right. There's a hint tile here. Oh, well, I mean, I wonder if at some point the logic will take into account the fact that there's hint tiles might give you hints that you had to have known to make it there. But I guess in this situation, I wonder if you might have come here before going to Kakariko.
I'm not entirely sure it's even possible, but
you never know. Someone in the chat bringing up, what if every skeleton in Eastern Palace is actually an old man without a moon pearl? Oh no. All this time.
reminds me of those old theories that all the blocks you destroy in Mario are actually transformed toads.
Oh my gosh, that's terrifying. And I believe we're gonna have a cross-world high five. Here we go. As both runners pass each other. And Grandpa just decides to whack things around with a hammer in a fit of rage.
I thought I told you to turn the heat on in this place here. This place is freezing. I don't care if it's called the Ice Palace there. I need my warm bath.
That's right. Oh yeah, just Grandpa being like the just proving what a handyman he is by like just hitting the walls in certain places with a hammer and demonstrating. Oh, you just gotta smack it a little bit, and then heat's gonna come right back up. And we're gonna find out what's in the big chest, and it's okay. It's a ventricle. Still useful.
Yep. One chamber. Oh, well, their runners are getting pretty darn close to each other. They're only like a room or two away.
So, unless I'm miscounting, it does seem like Cold Stare is just gonna have a compass pointing to himself, and that's gonna leave the Cane of Samaria somewhere.
They've already cleared out. Well, one of them has cleared out all of we can get in Misery Mire as of just yet. Liam does not corner them, but still it has a golden storage, so we'll be able to take them out no problem.
That falling icicle just really was not kind to setting up the cornering of the stairs. That one-up just demonstrated admirably. Gosh, they're just so close. They're just so close to each other right now.
I played the original Street Fighter 2. I know about corner traps.
An hour and 29 minutes, and they're practically at the same place.
Within like a couple seconds at best, or at worst. So onward we go
Right.
towards Swamp Palace, unless we've got a few other overworld checks to do, which I don't
Yeah.
believe OneUp has actually finished doing all the flipper locations yet.
Yep, seems to be heading over to check out Ice Rod Cave, and you have to imagine after that it's going to be Meyer, and then... Oh, right, no. Kane. That Kane. Has OneUp dipped Meyer, or is Grandpa just delaying the inevitable? Or trying to avoid the inevitable? Because it just might be somewhere else. Where else could it be? I mean, yeah, we have Swamp Palace. We have could be in that big key chest back in Thieves Town. That's a relatively quick check to make.
Relatively quick check to make there, but it's one that you really don't want to have to do if you could possibly avoid it.
Yep, and even Swamp Palace isn't as attractive as it could be, being the green pendant, because I think at this point both runners know there's just not a lot that Sahasrara is holding right now.
OneUp is using the water walking glitch just to get around the waterways faster. Even though he has the flippers and doesn't need to do the glitch, he's doing it anyway.
Yep, Miracle Grandpa just showing off once again.
I visited the Catholic Church. They taught me a thing or two.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Someone in chat pointing out, like, watch. Imagine if Kane of Samaria has been online the entire time.
Oh, that was a while back there. I was like, how many items are left?
It's like, not a lot. I mean, this is still a considerable amount of white items, and some of those. I mean, still no shield. I'm still flabbergasted. Not a single shield was found.
Grandpa says, I don't need no stinking shield. In my day, we just tank things with our face.
And Liam decided, like, when faced with the possibility of dipping Swamp Palace, like, nope, I will take my chances in the Mystery Mire.
Well, OneUp will find the Bombos tablet, but that's not really going to help him at this point. He's going through all the flipper checks that Liam has done there, but Liam is going through Swamp Palace that OneUp has already scoured out for the first time.
Yeah, I think this might be a good opportunity while both runners are following each other's footsteps. Hey, if you like the what the runners have been doing, maybe go ahead and give them a follow. Check out what they do when they're not racing each other in a race against time.
We can't guarantee there'll be more adventures of Crazy Grandpa, but they'll sure to have a good time regardless.
Absolutely. And Liam demonstrating the transitive properties of the blocks. When you push them during the time when they are moving, they're not technically treated as a collision by the game. So you can just pretty much do whatever. You can shoot a hook shot through them, shoot fire through them, do what you want.
Always entertaining.
Yep. Liam learning far too late that there's cash in the cave.
Meanwhile, OneUp is looking like he's going to be draining the swamp. He is going to the sunken palace inside the swamp.
There we go. This is the good content I've been waiting for.
What do you like most about Swamp Palace?
I have to say, I really, really like the aesthetics. And there's the simple fact of, like, wading in ankle-deep water. Just there's something about that I really, really appreciate.
Ooh, OneUp gets a good hint in that there's a map in the big chest in Swamp Palace. So
really good.
Yeah, he knows that he does not have to backtrack for that chest if he ends up needing to go there.
Yep, all too often it ends up being that you get the big key way late, and you have to make that in the moment decision. Do I keep going or do I go back and check that big key chest? And well, there's just not a reason at all to go to for big chest anymore. Liam did not find what he was looking for. Now has to. Oh well, yeah. While he's here, might as well get that flute.
2 for the price of 1, Grandpa.
Yeah. Grandpa knows those deals.
All right, looks like One Up is continuing on through Swamp, while Liam is going to be getting his flute, finally. Or did he already pick it up? No, he has not picked it up yet.
There we go. Alright. Ops to keep... Yeah, might as well keep going and clear it while you're here. And then activate it later.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to me.
It is always very interesting that in Inverted, you activate the flute at its rightful place because the duck has to come from somewhere, namely the weather vane. But your friend the bird will only come help you in the dark world.
Which finally makes that end of the Agatu cutscene make sense, even though
Right?
it's the Agatu is now inside the light world. But now we know that the duck is a dimensional shifter. And it's a magic duck.
I mean, that duck can lift. Yeah, you have to figure, like, yep, I have already accepted that a duck can lift pretty much any human and fly them across the land. Yeah, I'm gonna accept it's a magic duck. That makes sense to me. That Igor is... Oh, no! Liam manages to light up the torches without alerting the Igor. That's pretty good. Serves very little purpose. I just really appreciate it. Igor did not see anything coming.
Opened up his eye at the last second and was like, hey, what was up with that? Ooh, almost manages to one-cycle the land molus, but gets him at the last moment.
Yep, opting to use those that fire rod strat instead of the silver arrows. Fire rod shoots way faster, need 2 hits, but they're like easier hits than the pinpoint accuracy you need to land those 3 silver arrows.
Yeah, it does make things easier, and it doesn't cost all that much more magic. Alright, so Liam is now going into the left side of Swamp. I would imagine that Liam would be going towards Swamp as well, but he looks like he's going there. He's not opting to register his flute.
You have to remember to register your flute, or else, if something bad happens, you're not going to be able to get a return. Oh, there it is. Oh my goodness.
I found my walking stick. Finally, I have it.
I'm so glad that not only in Swamp Palace, but in left side of Swamp, that again, so few people opt to check, but there was all along. Now, One Up can just go straight to Meyer, complete it, and then it's off to see old buddy Ganon, say hi, stop him from destroying the world and all.
My back feels so much better after getting this cane.
Yes, and gosh, 1 hour 38 go mode? 1 hour 37 and change?
For having almost a 1 hour no bosses defeated except for Aga 1 there, this has been a pretty quick seed as far as taking down bosses has gone.
That's fair. Yeah, like about 40-45 minutes to complete every crystal dungeon. It's pretty good.
I would say so, yes.
And someone in the chat pointing out, old man now has all the canes he needs.
I have 2 canes now, one to walk with and one to hit whippersnappers with. I learned that trick from Cranky Kong.
Wouldn't be surprised if Grandpa taught Cranky Kong everything he knows. Cranky Corn being what Cranky Kong distributes in Halloween. Yeah, 1UP finally going into the basement of Mire. That place we have yet to see because of, that shiny red stick. It is so tricky to position right.
Cranky corn tastes like it looks just like candy corn, but it tastes even worse. Cranky corn, slightly better than apples.
Apples are pretty good.
Apples are pretty good, but it's not what you want to see when you're giving out Halloween candy.
That's true. It's like apples are pretty. They don't keep though. Not as much as candy.
I'm not sure if candy corn even has an expiration date. I think they could like survive a nuclear apocalypse at this point.
Though, yeah, I figure at some point they start getting a little bit stale. But hey, now we have.
How would you tell the
fight.
difference?
I don't know, honestly. I don't have like very good taste buds, but we're just about to miss entirely the Vitreous fight because, gosh, silver arrows, there's just not a lot Vitreous can do.
Have you seen my contacts? I can't find them anywhere. I'm having way too much fun with this. I'm sorry.
Grandpa's just been really impressive this whole time. Not to say that Liam also hasn't been putting up a great performance because these runners are not too far off. It's been a lot of routing decisions that could have gone either way, but
pretty much
Liam,
yes.
Liam's not too far from finding that red cane, just finishing up Mire, but is it time? Is it time for everyone's favorite game?
I believe we are pretty much almost there. We just need to save and quit apparently, and that'll put us right at the doorway. We're gonna be.
Yep, people are already in chat, taking their guesses between 1 and I believe 22. Where will the big key be? Is it 1? Okay, game's over. It's 1. Hey, everybody. Well, that was a great big key game. Nobody won.
I may have lost my contacts, but gosh darn it, I know where I put my keys.
Topical Grandpa continues on his rampage, just immediately picking the correct chest to find the key. What an amazing tower. What an amazing Ganon's tower. And,
this is way too much fun. I'm sorry, this is.
And 1UP just having the presence of mind to pick up those 5 extra arrows, realizing, just gone through that Vitreous fight, gonna be low on arrows. It is a really, really, I mean, even granted, you have a golden sword, so it's not the end of the world, but it's real bad to run out of arrows here specifically, but also real bad to run out of health. So, yep, 1UP is going to opt to refill on fairies in the side room over here, as Liam just decides to take that very, very quick trip to the Mire boss room.
Indeed. All right, so we've got 1UP starting the gauntlet.
It's always interesting to see how players attack the gauntlet. There's some folks who will just use their incredible mastery of the sword. Others will instead decide to use a spell like Bombos to just not take any chances. But I really appreciate the little fire rod plays that are kind of like the best of both worlds in this situation.
He's being pretty accurate with them, and it's one-shotting most things in here.
The fire rod's really powerful, turns out. And when you have half magic, you can afford to be a little bit liberal with its use. And now
speaking of the fire rod, we are up. No, he's using the silver arrows like he did last time. 1 shot, 2 shot, 3 shots, bullseye ×3 combo.
The perfect triple. And since he skipped the bunny beam in a previous room, had a lot of time to set up because that delays having the Molas appear. Oh no! And let's just take a moment to look over to the left to see Liam make extremely quick work of Vitreous, because silver arrows against things that look like big round targets, just, you know, that's not a thing that takes much longer than the sentence.
I shall show you the power of ow, my everything!
Yeah, one up you like the very, very clever little tactic of just falling down a hole to spend. Oh, there we go. Yeah, less time and waiting for that telltale sound that heralds the closing of the door, meaning there's no chance of getting that weird glitch that basically ruins your chances of completing the tower.
Yeah, it is annoying to say the least.
And the mother-daughter spike ball team just hanging out in the previous room, but there's nothing you can do against a miracle grandpa.
Oh, he doesn't have a small key. I thought he's.
Oh no! That's right. How embarrassing. Like, Grandpa does indeed end up misplacing a key. But nope, knew exactly where to find it though.
You ran off with my key. I shall put you to the sword.
Well, will Grandpa hover now? Will Grandpa just like walk in the air, or will okay, no, just chooses to actually take care of Mulder? Go.
Not even sure there's anything that he would find interesting in that chest, but opens it anyway, just for the fun of it.
Yep. Here's $20. You're valid. Yeah, I do wonder what else could possibly have been in that chest that could have been useful at this point. That's the best sword, the best armor, all of the models.
Old man versus old man combat, begin!
That's right. I mean, there could have been more arrows in that chest, but even though, still at 21. Or could have been health, you never know. A refill might just be a good thing right about now.
Oh, that was nice triple.
Such a good triple. Goodness gracious. Oh my gosh, that was a wonderful legacy fight.
I said we did not allow pigs in this house. Get out of here this instant.
And then,
old Ducky Poo, carry me to the castle.
Pig Grandpa, there's no pigs, just a bat. Like somehow flying out of this castle, even though there's no windows. I just finding so jarring to see the bat diving Hyrule Castle, but I really like the fact that the developers tweaked the bits of ceiling flying off to make sure they matched the color of the roof.
Nice.
And just like that, gosh, Grandpa is making short work of Phase 1 Aga. Not Aga. That's not Aga, that's Ganon. It's been Ganon this whole time.
Gasp! Shock and awe! But yeah, butter sword damage will make mincemeat out of this guy.
What's the potion situation on 1-Up? Like using, I mean, granted he's got the cape, but I wonder if like cape strats are sustainable. But then again, it was really just for that one second. Did not need that much time with the cape. Sure did find the arrows in Light World. And that's one, and nope, just one. I don't think I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen someone land 2 shots in that first one there.
All right, one more shot, and that should be it. We've got the stun, we've got the arrow, we've got Bacon Maid.
And Grandpa
old
just
man
like...
Henderson finishes the seed.
And 1UP40 just making short work of everything in this room. And wow, that was one efficient fight for one old man.
The Triforce, this is not where laxatives.
And scene. Thus ends the little tale of Miracle Grandpa. That was very nice game. 148.48. I like the look. I like the look of that time. And I believe, yep, OneUp does not have a mic, but is in chat for a little post-run interview. But all told, that was a heck of a race. And
I'm tempted to have you conduct the interview and me read off OneUp's responsive in the voice of Old Man Henderson.
if OneUp is fine with that, I am fine with that. That sounds like a good time as we watch Liam engage Aga 2. Awesome.
Oh, he says go for it.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Yeah, so gosh, yep, Liam just having like no trouble with Aga 2. But yeah, good gosh, that was a heck of a race. Surprisingly close, all told, but gosh, almost an hour without any meaningful dungeon completion. A lot of running around. Like, what was going through your mind as like the time was ticking? OneUp ponders a response while we have Liam engaging the source leader of all evil, the big bad person in charge right here, and using those wonderful little dash strats with the golden sword and throwing caution to the wind because might as well. Oh yeah, it is always so incredibly tricky to find yourself in the middle of that circle of fire bats, but Liam gets out of there almost unscathed.
In regards to the question, OneUp says, yes, I was getting worried going through Light World and opening chest after chest and getting nothing. Usually inverted sites open up once you get Light World access, but it was just chest after chest with nothing. Quite a bother, that. And suddenly I'm now British.
Well, you certainly demonstrated that an old man can do anything. Also can be British for some reason. Yeah, it's been especially interesting to see. Oh, and congrats to Liam, who has just, speaking of which, defeated Ganon. I'm still wondering. Gosh, yeah, 152-21, like just give or take 4 minutes apart in nearly 2-hour race. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that is really good.
Gosh, good game to Liam. And the broken harp sleeps again forever. Yes, I wonder if we can get Liam in chat, because I'm curious to ask our runners about, like, it seems to me like it was just such a wild goose chase to find everything. Just find the thing that would unlock a lot of the progression here, and a lot of it hinged on. I still wonder if that decision to just get a peek into Pod and find out where the flute was and decide whether or not to go back for the flute, if that ended up making a difference, because it was not that many minutes near the end. But I do wonder just like how useful that little time save could have been.
Possibly there, although I mean, you had to complete Desert Palace at some point anyway.
It's true. It's true. Yeah, that initial Desert Palace dip, like that was a bit of a delay. But then again, yeah, you have to figure, like you can always follow the logic and see where it leads. But we've seen the power that Seekin's Breaking can have, especially in some races so far in this tournament. But like I guess at some point you just have to take the chance. But it's always very, very interesting to see just like how like a spur of the moment decision can make such a big difference. And of course, like having the having the go mode item be in Pendant Swamp, in left side of Pendant Swamp, of all places. That's got to be interesting.
And your favorite location in the entire world.
Yes. I'm glad I was here for it.
All right. Well, let's see if Liam will come for an interview. But we still have one up in the chat. But if we want to ask him or Old Man Henderson any questions,
How about you? Do you have any questions?
I'm trying to think of something there, but I've completely forgot what I was going to be saying. I guess, like, did you have any special thoughts about how the routing went, or outside of it being so long before we get any core progression items? Any interesting choices you felt like you had to make?
And in the meantime, one up stating that his favorite snack is ice cream, which I can get behind that. But also, like chat pointing out the we have been talking about like the Desert Palace dip and the hunt around for items, but Purloin catfish. If I'm not mistaken, that was a thing. But it's just. It seems like this whole race was about just wandering around the overworld and just like searching under every rock to finally get started. But there was a lot of good stuff near the start, but it just felt like there was never that one singular thing that just like made everything just like indicate one particular direction. It was always, oh, we could go here, but it's still missing something.
One up says, I was worried once I got over to Sasha at Eastern Palace and started finding boots and some other progression, knowing that it had been there for waiting a long time.
That's right. That's gotta always be, because it's one thing that's always interesting about the randomizer races is that you unlike some other races and some other tournaments and events, like this is a race where you specifically do not know where your opponent is. So especially finding anything that's been sitting in the open for a while, you have to figure that like you're probably the last person to have gotten it, and that's gonna like send some adrenaline into your routing muscles.
Indeed. And also, it seems like this seed there, we got a lot of really good hints.
That's right. There was like some interesting stuff that like safely ruled out some areas.
We got at least 3 hints near the beginning saying that this place, and this place have a unique item.
Yeah, I wonder if we're going to see some trackers that have ways to track hints as they start to really start like being worth their weight in gold.
Yeah, I was having a hard time keeping track of them all. I think there was one that said a unique item was hammerlocked. That's what finally got me into Swamp Palace.
Oh, that's right, because of all the things, because you have to you always think of Swamp Palace as being like flipper, like required of flippers, but of course the hammer is always like something rather important.
Pretty much. It does lock a lot of things.
It always seems like it's never because like if you figure you eventually get it, so you just don't think about it. But it is rather instrumental to a lot of surprisingly a lot of places. Even though like with inverted specifically, but also like in some other cases, you can get into places without it, and then you realize, oh right, I need this. It's just these little whack-a-moles just cause so much trouble.
They are in so many places that you don't remember them being. They're so annoying. All right, I don't see Liam, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get an interview out of him. In any case, do you have any other questions that we would want to ask One Up, or we pretty much, or do we need to wrap up?
I think I asked the things that were coming to mind. I'm just really pleased like to have been like able to commentate this match. That was a very, very interesting race, and we got to see a lot of what makes inverted mode so interesting. A whole lot of playing with light world and dark world before finally getting into like the crunchy dungeon parts of it. But that was like a really fun experience. And gosh, just a pretty close race considering the total overall length of it.
All right. Well, if you are looking for more randomizer goodness, there we have at the moment. It looks like on Speed Gaming 3, Perd Wong and Salty Fry are in a randomizer seed. And over on Speed Gaming 4, they're about an hour in. Also, we have Korek versus Aurelius in an all dungeons, pretty standard seed other than that. And about a half hour into it, on Speed Gaming 5, we've got a hard retro seed between a Chex Human and a John Rossums.
I am looking forward to that.
So if you have any want to watch more randomizer, there's plenty going on right now. So just pop on over there. And while we're at it there, thank you to all of our behind the scenes support there. Thank you to our trackers, which was, I believe, Falcon. Thank you to our restreamers. And then thank you to our runners, Liam Atlas and oneup40. Go give them a follow if you enjoyed this race. They provided these entertainment for us quite graciously.
Absolutely. Thanks again, everybody. This has been a very, very fun 2 hours and change. And I hope it was fun for you folks watching.
Well, I definitely had fun. But I believe that is going to do it for us here at Speed Gaming 1. Hope everyone has a wonderful night, and catch us next time if you can.
Absolutely. Take care, everybody.
And good night.